gentlemen, we are here at Duffs Brooklyn in Marcy Avenue right now, sitting with Bryan Garcia of a little progressive metal band called the Albatross.
Hey, yo.
How you doing today, Bryan?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. This is my first time at Duffs. This is super lit. I'm having a great time.
This is one of the premier bars right now. It's got all the memorabilia all over the walls.
Oh, yeah. I'm digging it a
It's
lot.
got all this amazing stuff around it, memories, press passes, the whole nine.
Yeah.
And you're in a progressive metal band right now here from Brooklyn called the Albatross. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
We do a lot of cool fun stuff. We like to sort of have a lot of like genre switch ups. Like just like to do like BT band-ish prog stuff. Go to like Dillinger heavies and then suddenly swing into like a Latin jazz section or like some sort of like I don't know, cool inspired fusion section just to keep people on their toes.
That's the word I was looking for, fusion.
Yeah.
That's it. I've known Foda for a very long time. You guys have always been a stellar act.
Dude, thank you, man. It means the world.
Of course, and obviously for you guys who do not know what Between the Bars is about, this is what it's about. We take local and national musicians into the bar and we talk about current records that have influenced them. And so we're here with a bass player in a progressive metal band. And what record are we going to talk about today?
We're talking about Sonder by Tesseract.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Oh, baby.
I'm getting shivers just thinking about it.
Oh, baby. Yeah. Over 7 months old right now. The record was released back in April. And, the guys initiated a world tour for it. They played at Irving with Pliny.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And last time I checked, I was there, but you weren't.
I wasn't. Unfortunately, I had to work. But I did catch Pliny at a separate clinic that he did, so that was super sick.
Oh, so you made up for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's understandable. That's good news. You made up for it.
Oh, yeah.
But you still missed out. I mean,
I know.
the
prime
guys.
act.
Yeah, the guys in Tesseract played a lot of new stuff from their new record. And
Yeah, I can imagine.
as compared to like, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Nah, I can imagine those tracks live must have been nuts, like something completely different, man.
It was
like,
fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, I haven't seen. I've only seen Tesseract one time with Ash O'Hara, and that was because of the Alter State tour.
Yeah.
And I was not into them at the time because, it was Cult of Luna. They were on that tour, and Moonspell.
It was Intronaut, Catatonia, Cult of Luna, and Tesseract.
There you go.
That was one of my first Tesseract shows, too. I met Amos that night. Oh, man.
That was it.
That was
Best
sick.
night of your life.
Yeah, exactly. It just made my whole night.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
See, I caught Ash running around the place, and he was doing tracks from One and tracks from Alter State. And so I got to sit down and interview Dan in the tour bus and see Dan perform at the same venue and do Alter State tracks, One, Polaris, and Sonder. And I'm just going to get to the nitty-gritty. I'm still a Polaris fan. That's one of my favorite records from the band.
Oh, that's so crazy,
That
man.
is. I loved it. I loved the switch that they went from with One and with Alter State. Alter State being, to me, really cinematic. It had that cinematic score to it. It was bonkers. It took progressive metal to a whole new perspective. And then, unfortunately, Ash left, and Dan came back. Dan, everybody was excited for Dan to come back, and they pulled out Polaris, and Polaris was just the complete 180, of One.
Yeah, no, 100%. The crazy thing is, like, while I love Dan and I love every member of Tesseract because I love him to death and I love Ash, Alter State was my top pick for Tesseract. Just because I feel like that's the record where they really cemented what they wanted to do as a band. Because One was very Meshuggah influenced, like insanely so. It was like super heavy. It was really Meshuggah influenced.
That was surprisingly very Meshuggah-ish.
Yeah.
I lost my damn mind.
It was really Meshuggah-ish, and Frederick Thorndahl had a solo project. It was Frederick Thorndahll's Special Defects. That band seemed to influence them a lot. Like you hear little bits and pieces of some of their stuff on the Tesseract album, and it's like, man, I know where you guys were going with this. I know what you were listening to when you wrote this. I'm with it, too, because I absolutely love it.
So you heard that with Altered. What did you hear with Sonder?
With Sonder, I feel like it was a bit of a return to form for Tesseract, where, like, instead of Dan sort of doing his own thing now and coming back in, it was almost after, because Dan was still doing things in Sky Harbor. So I feel like he carried over a lot of that into Polaris.
He did. I like Sky Harbor with Dan. and then that fizzled out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he jumped ship right back over to Tesseract, and he did Polaris, Arai, know, and Sonder, and it was just like, it wasn't more of, at least to me, it wasn't Dan coming back to true form. It was more him evolving, because he took, like you just said, he took the influences from Sky Harbor.
Yeah.
And put that stuff into those records.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you got songs like, Juno, Luminary, and Smile on there, and people are just like, all right, this is different. And then he comes back with King and Beneath My Skin.
Oh my God, Beneath My Skin, dude. Oh God, it's such a good track.
Uh,
I feel like, I don't know, like with Polaris, it was a lot of Dan's Sky Harbor influence being sort of shoehorned into Tesseract. It worked well, don't get me wrong. But I still feel like that was a lot of Sky Harbor in there. Now with Sonder out, I feel like they sort of realized what kind of sound they wanted with Altered State, tried to go back to that sort of framework, and then make an album from the ground up like that. And I feel like it paid off tremendously.
You think it paid off?
Yeah, man. Some of the riffs on Sonder are just nuts.
Sonder was such a complete departure from everything that I've known and heard before, and I couldn't believe it,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe, but I loved it. I did. I loved it. Not as much as Polaris. That's not gonna pull me away. And even though Ash is not with Tesseract anymore, I still listen to Altered State. I go back to his older stuff. I go back to Voices from the Fuselage. I still listen to the first record and the new record that just came out like 2 weeks ago.
I gotta check that out, man. I'm slacking on that.
Dude,
I gotta check it.
It's wow. I mean, to me, in my opinion, it's in my top 10 for this year.
Ooh, interesting.
It doesn't take a lot. I'm not like, I'm not like the mainstream elitist guys where it's just like, Slayer's gonna be up in the top 2. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I can't either.
If people like what I gotta say, they do. If they don't, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
If you hate it, then fine.
At least have like a good reason to,
Yeah, it's still, a solid record from Ash and that camp. And I'm happy to see that he's still going strong and doing his thing.
That's good, man. I'm really glad he was. I was worried he fell off just because I didn't hear from him for a while.
As was I.
Yeah.
I was terrified about that, and just, the whole thing, it was funny because him singing Dan's music and now Dan is singing Ash's music. It's just like, okay, this is like a memoriam type thing.
Yeah, it's almost a tribute. But it's like cool because they all do different takes of each other's music. Where like Dan will sometimes add some more frills. Ash will do like his attempt at the harsh vocals. And I remember when Ash did harsh vocals.
His attempt.
Yeah, don't do that.
Sorry,
I like his stuff.
I like him too, but again, his attempt,
It's true. Dan had a very distinct harsh vocal sound. And it was really, really established on One. Because he did it a lot. And like those harsh songs on One were so hard hitting and aggressive, man.
Yeah, they were guttural and just gross.
They get you in your feels though. They're guttural, gross,
but in like a strong way, in a strong negative way. And that was the funny thing. I heard Perfection and I was just like,
oh,
wow,
dude, yeah, oh my god,
this sucks, man.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because at one point in anyone's life, and the only reason why I say this sucks, and not in a bad way towards the song, is because the premise of the song, at least. We've all been there at some point of our bloody lives. And I'll tell you, I've been in there one time, and I heard that song, and it twisted me up.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And that was the point.
Yeah.
That was the point of it. And it really took it there. In Dan's evolution from that record onto the others, you saw he changed it around.
Yeah, absolutely. Even within records, he changed his sound very much so. Like, you get tracks like Concealing Fate Part 3. You get the back half of that, it's like super harsh vocals, and then you get April on the same record.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
What about
man.
Eden?
I loved Eden too.
Oh.
Yeah, oh, God.
Eden, yeah, I heard Eden live, and I was just like, that's it.
Just
I can't
shed
say
a
that,
small
just that
tear.
one little tear. That's it.
Oh,
It was perfection.
I hope the next time they come through, they bring out some more tracks from One, because I would love to hear them live again. When I saw them I saw them so long ago. They actually had Elliot still in the band when I first saw them.
Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, man. I loved what Elliot did with the band, too. It was sick. When I saw him live, oh, dude, they changed up the arrangements.
Yeah, when he did the Perspective EP.
Yep.
He did the Perspective EP.
Yeah.
And that was great, too. It was funny because, now he was a good Tiger.
Yeah.
Like Marissa was the one that brought that out. Yeah, you were in Tesseract for a time, and people were like, wait, what? Really? Like,
yeah, man.
Like it was like a forgotten memory.
It flies over people's heads because it was a really short EP, but like it was weighty, man. Like it puts you in your feels again. It was all like the really sort of somber songs and almost like really soft parts of Tesseract's repertoire on one, just redone, like what the Contortionist is doing now with their reimagined stuff.
Oh my God.
Very similar to that, and
that's
I love
another
that.
episode of Between the Bars.
Oh man.
That's like War and Peace for Prague.
Yeah.
Like that's it. It's like we gotta take it slow there, Chief.
That's
Let's
true.
not
That's
go that
true.
far ahead.
I'm looking forward to seeing him though. That's gonna be sick. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But again, another episode.
Yeah.
Another episode. But we're gonna boil it down. Your favorite record from the band?
From Tesseract, I would have to say Altered State, but Sonder's being a really close second right now.
Favorite track off Sonder?
Favorite track off Sonder is probably Beneath My Skin, just because that rhythm, like right around the middle of the track, always gets me. It's just so cool.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. I'm not swaying myself. I'm biased as hell. Dan, I love you. I love Sonder, but Polaris is gonna pull me. That's it. It's
fair,
gonna pull me
man.
in.
Oh, yeah.
Polaris is gonna pull me in. Tourniquet, Hexes, Messengers. You know, Phoenix. I've been blasting Phoenix like
Yeah,
crazy.
dude.
That whole record is perfect to me. It's perfect. Sonder is third.
Third.
It's third.
Interesting.
And you know why? Because one.
True. That's very true.
One was the direct jump of mood and perspective of Dan and the band. Haha, Dan and the band. To Polaris. I thought that was sick. We're not excluding Ash because Ash, his record's second. I love Altered State.
Yeah,
Altered State's
dude.
second for me. Like that's it. That's
so
the,
good.
it's the first
So good.
record that I heard from Tesseract, and that was the and it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
That's it. I love Ash's lyrics. I'm always gonna love him for the music that he did with the band, and the weight that he carried with the other material from Dan before he left.
Yeah.
But Dan's back, and now he's holding on to Ash's stuff, and I gotta show the same respect and kind.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like where they're going now, so I'm totally fine on the Dan wagon right now. Like, I'm cool.
Okay. So what do you think? I know it might be a little. It's only 7 months out. The new record. New record's probably gonna come out in 2 or 3 years. What do you think that direction is gonna go to?
It's so tough to tell with Tesseract, man, because honestly, their influences are everywhere. Like, each one of them is such an insane musician that they can pull anything from anywhere. They're kind of a wild card. Like, some of the stuff they do is just insanely heavy, but then you get these really soft, somber riffs, but they're, like, rhythmically interesting. I'm hoping that they take a bit more of an aggressive stance on this one. We get a little bit more of a return to, like, harsh vocals on one, that kind of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
that would be amazing. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. We've had enough of the sensitivity training, and we know Dan could sing. Like, listen, you don't have to impress us anymore, Mr. Tompkins.
Oh, yeah.
We know.
Those harshes, we know.
Yeah, we
Those
know.
harshes.
We know. And if you don't know, you can go on YouTube. You can check out his Shaka Khan cover of "Ain't Nobody," because that's out there too.
Ooh, I gotta check that out.
No
I haven't
one
seen
knew that.
I didn't see that word.
I didn't
gotta
see
check it
that
out.
till recently, and I was just like,
Just floored by it.
well, besides the fact that he tried not to laugh at some sections, the man performed it effortlessly.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So.
Effortlessly. He, and I just was like, wow.
He's a killer musician, man. Insane vocalist. He just does his own thing.
I want to see what the direction is for the next record. We're gonna find out in 2 more years, and at this point in time, we're gonna find out where Fall Albatross is gonna go.
Yeah, man.
You got any shows coming up? What's going on now?
Oh yeah, we got one on December 1st in East Setauket with these bands called Wait and Shackle and Body Thief.
Nice.
That's gonna be super sick. They're like some up and coming like math rock, kind of mathcore bands. They're doing some cool stuff, man.
Dude, that's what's up. All right,
Yeah.
you guys are busy. And you can check out Fall the Albatross on the links that I'm going to provide down below on
Please
the page.
do, man. Thank you.
And I'm going to finish my beer and enjoy the rest
You
of
know
my
what?
night.
I'm gonna finish mine too.
Goddamn, cheers
Cheers to you.
to the inaugural episode Between the Bars. Brian, thank you for coming
Dude,
by.
thank you so much for having me, man.
Dude, we're going to be around. Locals and nationals are welcome. You're all welcome at Duffs. Duffs Brooklyn is a place to be. We'll
yeah.
be here. You'll find us. Trust it.